In the 5th century BC, a vast empire stretched from the Indus Valley to the shores of the Mediterranean. At its helm stood Xerxes I, known as the King of Kings. He inherited a realm of unprecedented size and diversity, a ruler who sought to expand his father's legacy through grand constructions and military campaigns. This is the story of Xerxes, a complex figure remembered for both great ambition and dramatic setbacks. Xerxes was born around 518 BC, the son of Darius I, known as Darius the Great, and Atossa, daughter of Cyrus the Great, the empire's founder. That made Xerxes both a prince and heir of two legendary dynasties. Raised in the imperial heartlands of Persis, modern-day southern Iran, he grew up surrounded by royal wealth and religious tradition. He was educated in Zoroastrian doctrine and trained as a warrior and administrator. When Darius died in 486 BC, Xerxes ascended the throne. Despite having older brothers, Xerxes was chosen, likely due to his mother's royal lineage. His right to rule was declared by Ahura Mazda, the supreme god in Zoroastrianism, according to royal inscriptions. Xerxes inherited the mighty Achaemenid Empire, stretching from the Indus Valley in the east to Egypt and Thrace in the west. Over 50 million people lived under Persian rule, over 40% of the world's population at the time. It was a multi-ethnic, multilingual empire, bound together by infrastructure, tolerance, and imperial administration. Governors called satraps ruled over provinces. Royal messengers galloped across the royal road, carrying the will of the great king from Susa to Sardis. But Xerxes is best remembered for a campaign that would define his reign and his reputation. In 480 BC, he launched a massive invasion of Greece, determined to punish Athens and Sparta for their role in an earlier Persian defeat at Marathon. Ancient sources claim he brought over 1 million soldiers. Modern historians estimate closer to 100,000 or 150,000. His army crossed from Asia to Europe on a bridge of boats across the Hellespont and cut through northern Greece with overwhelming force. The threat to Greek independence was clear. Among the Greek city-states, Sparta, renowned for its military discipline and leadership, took a central role in organizing resistance. For the Spartans, defending Greece was both a duty to protect their homeland and to preserve the shared culture and freedom of the Greek world. At Thermopylae, King Leonidas and his 300 Spartans, alongside other Greek allies, made a legendary last stand against Xerxes' vastly larger army. Their sacrifice bought precious time for the rest of Greece to prepare. Though the Persian losses at Thermopylae were relatively small compared to their massive army, the delay was strategically significant. It allowed the Greek city-states to unite, strengthen their defenses, and evacuate civilians from vulnerable areas like Athens. Following their victory at Thermopylae, Persian forces marched south and captured Athens, which had been largely evacuated on the advice of the Athenian commander Themistocles. The Persians burned much of the city, destroying temples and public buildings, but found no city to occupy. This delay and the morale boost from Thermopylae played a crucial role in the Greeks' naval victory at the Battle of Salamis, where the Greek fleet used the narrow straits to trap and decisively defeat the larger Persian navy. Xerxes, shocked by the defeat at Salamis, retreated to Persia, leaving his general Mardonius to continue the campaign. A year later, at Plataea, the Greeks dealt the final blow to Persian ambitions in Greece. The invasion was over, and the dream of conquering Greece had failed. Back home, Xerxes focused on consolidation, construction, and control. He completed the grand ceremonial capital of Persepolis, a project begun by his father. Towering columns, royal reliefs, and inscriptions in multiple languages declared his divine right to rule. He also put down rebellions in Babylon and Egypt, ruling them with a heavier hand than his predecessors. According to some accounts, he even desecrated Babylonian religious symbols, though this remains debated. His empire remained wealthy and stable, but cracks were forming, particularly in the western provinces, now emboldened by Greece's survival. Xerxes' queen was Amestris, daughter of the noble Otanes and mother to his heir, Artaxerxes I. Ancient sources, especially the Greek historian Herodotus, describe Amestris as a powerful and influential figure within the royal court. She is said to have wielded significant authority, especially during Xerxes' long military campaigns and absences. Some accounts portray her as ruthless and involved in palace intrigues, with the power to order severe punishments and influence political decisions. However, modern historians caution that these stories are often colored by Greek bias, portraying Persian royal women in a negative light. Despite this, it's clear that Amestris held considerable sway behind the scenes, likely managing the royal household, overseeing court affairs, and playing a key role in maintaining dynastic stability. Her influence extended to succession matters, with her son Artaxerxes ultimately succeeding Xerxes as king. To the Persians, Xerxes was not just a king, he was the king of kings, the divine ruler chosen by Ahura Mazda, the supreme god of Zoroastrianism. This ancient Persian religion taught that the world was a cosmic struggle between good and evil. Ahura Mazda, the wise lord, represented truth, light, and order. Xerxes claimed his right to rule through Ahura Mazda's divine mandate, reinforcing his authority over the vast, diverse empire. For the Persians, this divine kingship wasn't mere propaganda. It was a spiritual belief that united the empire and legitimized royal power. But to the Greeks, Xerxes was often seen as a symbol of arrogance and tyranny, the other, a foreign despot threatening their freedom. In Aeschylus's play, The Persians, he appears as a tragic figure, a mighty ruler undone by hubris, ambition, and defeat. Modern historians see Xerxes as a complex ruler, neither a god-king nor a villain, but a man shaped by his beliefs and the immense challenges of his time. In 465 BC, after 21 years on the throne, Xerxes was assassinated, likely in a palace coup led by the commander Artabanus, with involvement from court officials. His son, Artaxerxes I, took the throne after a brief struggle. The empire survived, but the assassination marked a turning point. Royal authority became more fragile. Intrigues and civil wars would follow in the coming decades. Yet the empire itself endured for nearly another 130 years, until Alexander the Great overthrew it in 330 BC. Xerxes' tomb, carved into the rock at Nakhsir-Rustam, still bears his name, "I am Xerxes, the great king." Xerxes ruled a world empire at its height. He was a builder, a warrior, a ruler of immense power and immense ambition. His failures in Greece echo loudly, but his achievements at home, his legacy in stone and empire, endure. In the end, Xerxes remains what he called himself, King of Kings, and a man whose life still stirs debate across time.